Hey everyone, I'm Cosmic and welcome to the cloud. As you can see, I did update the layout a bit. Hopefully the chat works, because I tried doing a different thing with it. We will see here in a second. My dog is scratching at the door already. Hello. Cool, okay, that seems to be working. Oh, it's like offset. Okay, I might mess with the with how that looks a little bit. We'll see. But hello, God of Time, welcome. We are back to Splatoon 3, so we can skip the news, thankfully. I say it every time now I play Splatoon 3, I'm not used to this being 60 FPS. I don't play the game enough to get used to it. Hello. It's a little small. I might see if I can, like, increase the font size. I'm not gonna do that right now, but we'll see. Yeah, I updated the layout a bit. Because the old, like, banner logo thing, well, there were a few things. I planned to, like, add, like, more art to the bottom, and then I, like, didn't get around to doing that, so it looked kind of awkward that the chat was, like, up a little higher. I never really wanted to use that, like, box format for the chat. I just, like, it was, like, it's supposed to be a temporary solution. Anyway, yeah, hopefully this will look better. The chat might be small. The font might be too small, is the thing I'm noticing right now. But we'll see. Hello, Daniel, Side Up, and Nerdbird, welcome. There's, okay. Tenna, Squid Sister, that is interesting. So I've not been playing a lot of Splatoon 3. I've mostly been playing Donkey Kong. A lot of Donkey Kong. Those of you on the Discord will know that I 100%ed the game and then immediately started a new playthrough where I was trying to go through with 0 bananas. So yes, I've been slightly obsessed with that. But I figure we play more Splatoon today. I don't know, I didn't I didn't have a different idea, and I really need to play more of the new weapons. Like, I've been liking this Tri-Slosher a bit. That's actually more than I thought I had played this. But I still have, like, barely tried most of the new weapons. But that could be kind of fun, actually. Screw it. Let's try this out. Just to do something different. I have not looked at, like, the rotations or anything. Are they decent? Right, I just don't have my X rank back. Yeah, we'll give this a shot. I don't know. Hope you guys are doing good. Obviously, it's a Friday stream. I just couldn't stream this Saturday, so I moved it back a day. Hopefully people will still be able to show up, we'll see. I mean, it is summer. I don't know. I don't, like, apparently my stream time is pretty, like, European friendly, so I don't know if I have to worry about, like, people, like, getting out of school or whatever, but also it's summer, so probably most people don't have school right now anyway. I guess some people are gonna have work, so I don't know, but we're gonna try it and see. 3 golden banners on my team, that's probably a good thing. But yeah, I guess there was that partner showcase direct. I don't have much to talk about there. It was kind of kind of underwhelming for me, but that's kind of the news of the week, I suppose. Hello, Emzo. You're watching while at work? Well, yeah, that also works too, I suppose. Nice. Also, my headphones, like, broke a little bit. So I've been trying to, I don't know. I never really have a good system for this. I started streaming with, like, one of my headphone ears, like, off so that I could hear my own voice better. Because sometimes if you have, like, the volume loud and you have headphones on, you know, I was ending up, like, I was kind of, like, shouting because I could... I didn't realize how loud my own voice was because I couldn't hear it that well. But now, straight up, one of my headphone, like, it still, the audio works, but it just, like, physically broke so that it doesn't, like, push, like, tight against my head anymore. So it's kind of weird. I just have, like, one of my headphone ears, like, it's not, like, drooping, but it's, like, you know, it feels weird. But hopefully that won't be too distracting. Oh yeah, Mario Paint. I considered like if I should stream that, but I don't know. I don't know if that would be something I would want to stream. I should try messing around with it though, because I've never played it before. I know there's like the music creator thing too, which is pretty cool. Will you be participating in the tournament? Definitely not. Will I be watching it? Maybe. Not on stream, probably. I don't know. I keep forgetting that's a thing, to be honest. I've not really followed comp in a while. But it is cool, I guess. It seems like a pretty big, you know, event compared to most of the stuff that goes on. Okay. That's not happening. Oh, I was happy about the cancel, but then I did not move. But yeah, what did they even show? I don't know how to feel about Age of Imprisonment. I was talking about it with some people on a different Discord server, because, like, I don't know, like, I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom story. I'm probably not getting it, I guess. I can start with that, because I didn't really love Age of Calamity. I 100%ed Age of Calamity, but I didn't like it. And I can't tell you why I 100%ed it. Because, I don't know, I thought the gameplay was kind of boring and I didn't like what they did with the story. But, yeah. I'm probably not playing Age of Imprisonment, but I think it's weird how little that trailer showed. I don't know. I felt like it was kind of very... Like, they didn't even give a release date, and they didn't really show, like, anything, except for, like, the weird construct thing at the end. It's just a weird trailer. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff is, like, it's cool. It's just stuff I haven't experienced. Like, I've never played a Katamari game, but that is cool, I guess, that exists. I don't really know anything about Pac-Man... What even is it? Pac-Man Worlds 2? I don't know. I barely knew that game existed. Yeah, the thing with Elliot... I'm not a fan of the HD 2D style. I don't know. It was kind of cool when, like, Octopath Traveler did it. Because it was like, oh, this is like a, you know, a way to combine, like, modern and classic graphics. But now, like, it's been around for, like, 7 years. Which is, like, as long as, like, actual 16-bit graphics existed. Like, it just feels kind of tired at this point. I don't know. Like, at least, like, Octopath doing it is one thing. But then, like, the Dragon Quest remakes doing it and, like, Elliot doing it, like, I just don't really... I don't want that many games to look like that, I guess. I'm not really super into it. Yeah, I mean, at least it's cool that it's an action RPG. I just wish it didn't look exactly like Octopath in terms of the visuals. And it doesn't look exactly like it, but I don't know. It's not a style that I find very appealing. So... yeah, I don't know. There wasn't really much in the direct. Like, and you know, it was a partner showcase. I wasn't expecting anything really. There were lots of rumors about a direct, and I was hoping it would be like a full-on direct. And I was hoping for like Splatoon Raiders news, but I acknowledged that was cope, and that was probably not ever going to happen. I mean, it has to happen sometime soon. My dog wants out of my room already. He like comes in and then like I don't pet him because I'm streaming, and then he leaves, and it's like I don't know why he expects it to be different every time, but yeah. I don't know. Actually, I watched a video that like Kit made from Kit and Krista, just kind of saying like, you know, I don't know. I do think Nintendo's just kind of in a weird like state right now where it's like they have a bunch of games supposedly lined up for this year for Switch 2, but we still don't have like release dates for any of them. Like, it's weird that Final Fantasy VII Remake and Elden Ring on Switch 2 don't have release dates. It's weird that Metroid Prime 4 doesn't have a release date. It's weird that Age of Imprisonment doesn't have a release date. Like, this seemed like kind of the place to announce a lot of that stuff to kind of give a clearer picture of like what the holiday season is going to look like. And we still just kind of don't know any of that. Like, I've been saying the whole time, like, with Switch 2 launch, like, you know, yes, Mario Kart was there at launch. That was pretty cool. Donkey Kong is a fantastic game. I wish it was a launch title, but I'm glad we have it now. But then the rest of the year is just still kind of a mystery. Like, Pokemon exists, but that's cross-gen. And, you know, hardly looks like a next-gen game. Like, not that it has to look like one, but I'm not interested in Pokemon, I guess. I mean, that's my own bias. But that, you know, that being the only game for the holiday season, and it's like October, is like, you know, I would like if there was at least confirmed release dates for like anything else. So I guess that's kind of where I am right now. Like, I think it's weird that there wasn't a bit more news in general. Yes, I did redo the logo for the stream layout. Yeah, I heard something about the dev kits, but I don't really know the details there. So I mean, it's just weird because it feels like it's. I mean, I could believe that for like, you know, Final Fantasy, but like, yes, Age of Imprisonment is developed by Koei Tecmo, but it's like a Zelda game. Like, you think Nintendo would like, you know. They've made several Zelda Warriors games. Like, I just feel like you would think they would be in pretty close proximity with Nintendo there and not have to worry about, like, leaks being a problem. And the game, like, I don't know, the trailers for that game have been really weird. Because obviously it is kind of a game, you know, the marketing is all about the story. It's like, oh, the canonical events before Tears of the Kingdom. Like, you're playing it, you know, because you know what a Warriors game is, right? Like, the gameplay isn't gonna be anything that crazy. They showed off there's like, you know, like team attacks or whatever, where like two characters work together, but like, I feel like we haven't seen like anything of the game. It's like, yeah, it's a Warriors game and it's before Tears of the Kingdom, but like, the trailers have just been weirdly minimal and like actually showing what it looks like to play the game. And again, still no release date. Like, it's just is weird. I don't know. I guess, again, I'm not even really that interested in buying the game, but I'm like mildly interested. Like, I think I could be convinced if there was a good trailer, and I just think the trailers have been extremely underwhelming and just kind of lacking in information. They don't want to promise now and then have to delay, but they've already promised 2025. That's what's weird about it. Like, all of those games I mentioned already confirmed 2025 release date. So, like, you'd think if there was any question of them coming out this year, they wouldn't have confirmed that. I don't know. I mean, I just think it's interesting to talk about, like, this kind of thing. Because, like, Switch 1 had, like, a really incredible first year. Like, 2017 was, like, one of Nintendo's, like, best years, like, in terms of, like, you know, heavy-hitting games releasing, in terms of, like, you know, sales numbers and hype and everything. And I guess you would just think they would, like, want to replicate that. Like, it sort of felt like by the end of the Switch lifespan, you could tell things were, like, winding down, and it's like, okay, they're, like, going to save a bunch of big games to come out on Switch 2. And now it's like, they're not. It's not that they aren't coming out. I mean, obviously the console's only, like, 2 months old, but it's weird that we don't have a better roadmap, I guess. That's just been my thought the whole time, is like, I think there needs to be a better roadmap of when things are releasing. And it's surprising that they wouldn't have that, like, you know, you'd think they'd be on top of that because it's a console launch. Like, the first year of a console is extremely important, so I don't know. I'm probably not gonna play with viewers. I don't know. At least for now, I'm just yapping and solo queuing. So I'll probably just keep doing that for now. Ding, ding, ding. What do you guys think? Is the chat font size like big enough, or should I like? Oh, immediate DC. Okay, cool. At least on my OBS, it looks smaller. I mean, I'm just reading, you know, my normal chat widget, so it doesn't make a difference to me. It's just how it appears. Let me look at it on a mobile really quick, because it shouldn't be too hard to change that. Oh, it looks okay on mobile. Maybe I can make it a little bigger. I do think the logo is a lot better. The old like logo I did was literally just like I edited like the existing one and just kind of like stretched it out. Like it was a very like, you know, kind of janky like temporary thing, and I ended up using it for longer than I planned to, so I'm glad I got a more cleaner looking one now. Yeah. I don't know, I might mess around a bit with it before the next stream, but that's, you don't have to worry about that for now. It's probably good enough for this stream. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I do hope there is a full-on direct, like, in September, at least. Because, I mean, it's mostly I just want Raiders news, right? Like, there's all this other stuff that I think is, like, interesting to follow, just for the sake of, like, you know, I just think the state of, like, the industry and, like, Nintendo is just interesting for, like, discussion's sake. But in terms of, like, games I actually specifically care about, I really just want more Raiders news at the moment, so... I don't know, I mean, that was still just a weird, like, random Tuesday Twitter drop reveal. Like, I feel like normally when they do that... I mean, they did it a bunch, like, during, like, COVID and, like, a couple years after, because it was, like, you know... probably just like whatever roadmap they had got totally messed up by the pandemic. Like Origami King is still like that, like Paper Mario is like a very big deal to just like, you know, for that to be announced on Twitter. And they definitely did it with a couple of other games. That was like the big one I remember. But, you know, it feels like we kind of moved out of that era and they got back to like putting things in directs and having like more of a proper schedule. And then Splatoon Raiders was just like, yeah, it exists. Here you go. Like, I'm sure part of it was probably just like, here is why Splatoon fans should care about Switch 2. And, you know, just kind of throwing a bone to the community with like third kits and stuff to keep people engaged, but... I don't know. It's just very hard to tell like how far along the game actually is. There was actually, there was like a rumor... It wasn't much of a rumor, and I don't want to, like, put too much weight into it, but there was some, like, Malaysia, like, listing for the game that suggested it was a 2025 release date. Like, I don't want to say confirmed, because I don't know how reliable it was, but it suggested Raiders is coming out in 2025, which, to me, that's kind of a surprise. I thought it would be early 2026. There were some other details too, but they like really like anyone could have made them up. It was like the mechanic is skilled in like mechanics or something. Like it was some like it you know, it doesn't mean anything. It was just saying like something extremely obvious. It did say it would have more of a story focus, but again, I don't really want to put any any faith into that until we see it for ourselves. Because that's extremely vague what that could actually mean. Yeah, well, it's like, it's weird, because I know a bunch of the discussion is like, okay, Side Order's reveal was just a bunch of concept art, and clearly they barely had like anything for the game actually done at that point, and were just, you know, they announced it then because they wanted people to buy the expansion pass, and they had the Inkopolis Plaza part done. Like, that seems to be what it was, is they wanted people to get on board with this expansion pass, so they had to promise actual substantial content, and they wanted to release the part they had done already. So they showed Side Order, despite Side Order clearly being very not ready to be shown. But Raiders is like, you know, supposedly the game has already been raided in some regions, which is like one of the last things that happens during development. The trailer is mostly like cutscenes, which, you know, if we have like these fully produced cinematics, like that also seems like something that would happen pretty late in development. It looks a lot more done than Side Order is my point. So, and if it is a spin-off, maybe it just would have a shorter hype cycle. I mean, I think most people would agree that Splatoon 3's and Side Order's hype cycles were too long, because they were almost definitely delayed. I mean, Splatoon 3 was 100% delayed because it switched release dates with Xenoblade. But, and like Side Order, you know, was almost definitely delayed based off of like what we know internally about the game. So if Splatoon Raiders, maybe they just waited until it was in a more finished state. I don't know. It's like, it's interesting. it's all just loose speculation at this point, but I wonder if they tried to learn from their lessons a bit. I really don't think the codename leaking, like, is a great way to estimate the timeline, because that's just like when someone found out about the codename. Like, that doesn't really, it wasn't like a patent or a trademark, like it was just like that leaked. So I don't really know how much we can go off of that. I don't want it to be rushed. I just think it's like we might be at a point where it's more done than we think it is. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. But it definitely is weird. If it is a 2025 release, it's surprising how quickly they managed to get it out after Side Order. And that almost makes me think, like, either... I doubt it's by a different team. But, like, if it is a 2025 release, that probably means they were working on Splatoon 3 multiplayer, Side Order, and Raiders at the same time. Which, like, I don't know. Maybe that's why the content cycle for Splatoon 3 was the way it was, and it, like, was kind of light, and why Side Order took so long. But that also just seems like, why would they prioritize it like that? Like, unless they were being pressured to get something out on the Switch 2 really fast? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, I still think 2026 is likely. I do think 2025 is possible. My whole thing is just that it's a spin-off. Like, I don't think the advertising hype cycle... I don't think Raiders as a game you need to know about a year before it comes out. I think it being revealed in July... Was it revealed in June or July? I think it was July. Like, I would expect it to come out within, like, the next 6 months for a spin-off game. So, like, I kind of almost would think... Like, kind of my guess was, like, January 2026. Just to give them a little more time. But I don't think a 2025 date is impossible. Yeah, I mean, Raiders as a holiday release does seem weird, though. Because, like, is a Splatoon spin-off really your first year holiday game? Like, obviously, I'm gonna buy it, but, like, I don't know if that's... I mean, they do have Pokemon to rely on. I mean, Pokemon and Raiders would maybe not be like a bad holiday lineup. I don't know. It's just like I don't. It's everything with Raiders. Is I don't want to get my hopes up, but things are looking good. It basically, like, it looks like it's pretty done. It looks like the game will be exciting for like lore reasons and as a Splatoon single player fan, but maybe not. There's always the maybe not. We still know very little about it, like 100% for sure. So I don't want to, like, you know, oversell it. I think it's possible. Okay. Yeah, like, I wouldn't... It's not, like, the big holiday game for sure. It being a part of, like, the holiday lineup, I think, is reasonable. I don't know. I, like, the whole... the way they revealed it is just so weird. Like, even like, forgetting the Random Tuesday thing, the fact that it was just in a video... Like, to be perfectly honest, I think the trailer was bad. I think a lot of Splatoon's trailers... I forget if I talked about this on stream or if I was just, like, thinking this to myself. A lot of Splatoon trailers, I think, have not been very good for a while. Like, they're hyped for Splatoon fans, but I think Return of the Mammalians does a pretty horrible job of communicating what the game actually is to people who aren't already Splatoon fans, and, like, doesn't really, like... You know, if you're not a fan of Splatoon and have just seen other Splatoon trailers, you will see the Return of the Mammalians trailer and go, huh, well, that looks like more Splatoon, I guess. Like, they don't really emphasize... I mean, obviously, if you ask me, Return of the Mammalians doesn't have a lot of brand new gameplay ideas to advertise, but it definitely had more than what was in that trailer, right? Like, I mean, you barely even saw that it was, like, using the Octo expansion level structure with, like, different selectable weapons and different clear conditions. It was just like, yeah, Chara talked about it before, but it's like, you know, here's a Zapfish, which, you know, I guess was intentionally misleading because there's the whole bait and switch thing at the beginning of the game, but again, like, if you're advertising this game and you show a Zapfish, it's like, oh, this looks like the last two games. Like, I don't think it was very good. And I think Side Order... I mean, Side Order, obviously, the initial reveal ended up being kind of misleading, you know, because they showed it too early. Like, they're showing a bunch of concept art. Later Side Order trailers were, like, fine, I guess. But I think reveal trailers, specifically. I guess it's just, it always comes back to, like, Octo Expansion doing everything better. But Octo Expansion's reveal has a ton of fan service, right? It's like very much like the Splatoon fan moment. It's like, wow, playable Octolings, Pearl and Marina in a story mode, like this really cool new setting. There's even, like, you know, the Agent 3 like side-eyeing Agent 8 as they walk by moment, right? Like, that's like the most, like, fan servicey a Splatoon trailer has ever been. But then the second half of the trailer shows the actual gameplay. Like, it shows that, okay, yes, this is another Splatoon single player, like, hero mode, but now there's things like infinite specials, there's clear conditions, there's new enemy types, there's, like, this whole new aesthetic. Like, they show the map, they show the Deep Sea Metro map, like, the progression is different. Like, it just actually shows what the game is. And then now we have Raiders again, which, like, okay, first of all, so the video was called, like, Update from the Squid Research Lab, which, like, again, for anyone who's not a Splatoon fan, that does not sound like a game announcement. That sounds like, oh, they're updating Splatoon 3, which is what the second half of the video was, but the first half is announcing a new game, which, like, that should have been its own video. It should have been now announcing Splatoon Raiders, the first Splatoon spinoff. That's big news for a Splatoon, like, for Nintendo's, one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. You know, like, It's a big deal, and people did not know. I think people still don't know, who aren't like following Nintendo news and Splatoon news. And I feel confident in saying this because they course corrected. They changed the thumbnail and the title of the video. It might be the same on Nintendo of America's YouTube, but at least on the UK one, I noticed they changed it to like Splatoon Raiders announcement plus Splatoon 3 update, and they changed the thumbnail. And I mean, maybe that was like an intentional marketing thing of like, oh, there's this like exciting, mysterious thumbnail that doesn't spoil what's in the video, so all the, you know, influencers can react to it. And then like, but like, I just feel like it should have been a breaking headline. It should have been Splatoon has a spin-off now, and this is a big deal that we want people to know about. And I think it failed at doing that. I think most people are still literally not aware it exists in like the wider Nintendo community. And then you get into the trailer itself. I think the editing is fun. Like, obviously, I managed to get a 40-minute speculation video out of it, so there wasn't nothing there. But again, for like a casual viewer of that trailer, I don't know if the gameplay they showed counts as gameplay. You show a character walking next to a robot. Like, yeah, it's a teaser. Like, I guess it's like they want us to like speculate about it. You know, they want weirdos on the internet to make 40-minute analysis videos, but I think there needed to be more. I think if you're revealing a game, like normally Nintendo is good about that, right? Like they don't just do like cinematic, you know, here is the vague visual identity of the game, but nothing on like what the actual gameplay of the game is. Normally Nintendo are the ones who are good about that in the industry. They actually show the game. And with Splatoon, for whatever reason, the last few trailers, they've done a very bad job of showing the game. They barely showed that squid rolls and squid surges were a thing in all of Splatoon 3's advertising. You know, there was no gameplay in the side order reveal. The gameplay, you could barely parse the gameplay from the Return of the Mammalians reveal. I mean, sure, there was... I mean, there wasn't even really gameplay. There was, like, Neo Agent 3, like, sitting on the level and doing, like, an animation that doesn't exist in the game, by the way. But, like, they never just showed, like, here is, like, the gameplay camera perspective and the player doing something that you will actually do in the game. I'm pretty sure there is literally none of that in the Return of the Mammalians trailer. And I think that is a mistake. I think for both Splatoon fans and for, like, you know, getting other people to buy the game, I think it is doing a bad job. I think you're losing it. I mean, I'm yes, this is a long ramble, but I guess this is something I have thought about, and now I'm just letting it all out, as happens on a lot of my streams. I don't know. I guess, you know, why does this matter? It's annoying as a fan to see a trailer and then just have to, like, wait to actually get what the gameplay is. Like, to me, that's not, like, hype. Like, I want to get a little bit more on what the game actually is so I can know what I'm getting excited for and how excited to be. And if I want to buy it, obviously, you know, I'm going to buy it because it's Splatoon. But for other people who might be on the fence, this trailer does not get them off the fence, right? There's nothing that actually sells you on the game unless you're really going to, you know, put out $60 to $70 just for a deep cut story mode, which, yeah, for some people that probably is enough, but again, that's probably more of the people who are already hardcore fans. So, yeah, like, I just think in terms of, like, transparency from a, you know, company to consumer, you know, yeah, from a company to a consumer, I want to be told what the product is that I already know I'm going to be buying. And, like, yes, I am a fanboy. Yes, I'm a shill. I will buy Splatoon no matter what. But I guess if I am going to be this dedicated to this franchise, I would like if the creators of the franchise would reciprocate, you know, and kind of respect the community a little bit by actually, you know, showing us what we're getting into. I guess that's my point, ultimately. That's from my perspective. And then again, I just think for the casual audience, if we want to, you know, a spin-off is a great way to get people into a series who might have otherwise not played it. right? Like, if someone's not interested in the mainline gameplay, but they're interested in the world and the characters and music, maybe they'll get Raiders. But you have to show what Raiders is to sell those people who are on the fence. Yeah, obviously, yeah, we're going to get another trailer. Like, it's not a thing that's going to continue to be a problem. I don't like that there's always this period from reveal to first actual trailer where we just don't know what the thing actually is. I don't like that for a video game hype cycle. I want to know at least generally what the game is from the get-go. So yeah, I guess that's all I'm saying. Hello, Sammy, welcome. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I'm... Especially if we're not getting a full-fledged Direct until September. Like, you know, I think if we were getting a July Direct, that was a real Direct and not a partner showcase, you know, I think it would have been dubious whether or not Raiders would have been there. But if we're getting a, you know, fully-fledged first-party Nintendo Direct in September, I think Raiders has to be there. I think it's a lock. Because otherwise, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Why would you announce it in July if you're not going to tell us what type of game it is and not give us more details for several months? So September has to be when we learn more about it. I guess that's that rant over. How I've like been on such autopilot during the games, I genuinely have no idea if I've won or lost any of these. I've been completely focused on yapping. Was it June? I couldn't remember if it was June or July. It doesn't feel like it's been that long already. Okay, nice. Oh, not nice. It was June. Okay, yeah, absolutely 100%. Then it has to be. They have to tell us about it in September. It does not feel like the 10.0 is that old either. Wow, I just have not been on this game. I've been playing Mario Kart. I've been playing Donkey Kong. Maybe that's why it doesn't feel so long to me. Yeah, July went by really fast for me. I mean, I guess I went on a vacation. I guess that happened. I didn't play Switch for a week because I went on vacation, but yeah, it still went by fast. Yeah, I might have even said last stream, I probably told people I streamed Saturday. I didn't know I wasn't going to be able to stream Saturday until a couple days ago, so... Yeah, sorry, I could not have given... I mean, I gave a bit of a heads up on the Discord, but I didn't... I don't know. I never know if I should, like, make community posts that's like, by the way, I'm streaming on a different day, because, like, it's a very small percentage of the people who are subbed to me that actually come to the streams, which is normal. I'm not, like, complaining about that. I'm just saying I don't want to, like... I don't know. I personally get somewhat annoyed when people spam the community posts in my sub feed on YouTube. So I don't want to post more than I really need to. I normally keep it to just like kind of big announcements. Oh. What rank am I? I normally have X Battle unlocked, but currently I am rank S because I have not gotten it back. Bam, bam. I mean, I get it. Like, if I'm making, you know, most people subscribe for scripted lore videos, and my streams are just me kind of, you know, being unhinged and ranting about things with mediocre gameplay. It's you know, not everyone is gonna want to be there for both things. Wow, okay. streams are fire though. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoy them. I like watching streams. I always talk about Andrew Cunningham. You know, he's a video essay guy, and I really enjoy his streams. So there definitely is always some part of the audience that will cross over and enjoy both of it. I would not expect people to by default. Yeah, I mean, I think VOD channels made sense when the live tab didn't exist on YouTube, but like, if it's literally going to keep all my streams in a separate tab on my main channel, that's pretty convenient as far as I'm concerned. I really have no reason to not just use the built-in system there. You know, I love watching VODs too. Like I would not unlist them because I watch VODs of live streams more often than I actually manage to catch them live, so. I have no reason to take them down. Okay, yeah, I know that was overtime, but I felt like if I didn't keep my attention on that guy, he would have just killed me. I do still want to put some kind of like art on the bottom. I don't want to do like a PNG tuber type thing, but I don't know. I wanted to have like a little animated like sea cucumber in the bottom right, and then I need something for the bottom left. Alright, once for these. Yeah, I hope Raiders is like a noticeable step up, because the trailer looked good. I don't know if it necessarily looked like a next gen, but a lot of the shots were like close-ups of character models and stuff, which like in the actual game, you know, the camera will be pulled back a bit. I hope the textures are a bit higher resolution. I guess that's kind of the big thing. Like polygon counts and higher res textures would be very nice. But if they do, if it ends up being like about the same fidelity, but the environments are just bigger, that would also be fine by me. Because I do think Splatoon 3 looks like good enough. Like, the lighting is the main thing I always complain about. Like, the textures mostly look good outside of Splatsville, where they're kind of crusty. But like the map textures look good. The single players, like, you know, they're mostly there. It's just, if then, you know, I would like them to somehow take advantage of the Switch 2's power with like bigger explorable areas, and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, like, it definitely looks good. I don't know. Just watching the trailer, for me, I don't know if I immediately was like, you know, this couldn't have been done on Switch 1. Like, to me, it still looks like it, like, maybe could have been. Maybe not at 60 FPS, but, I don't know. I mean, it was a first trailer, so and again, like, no actual gameplay, so that was a really stupid death, by the way. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, I'm still hopeful. I'm definitely hopeful that it will look good once we see more of it. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it that just was the reaction from all of the lore people. It's like, wait, we're actually getting a spinoff? Like that thing we've been talking about for like the entirety of the franchise's existence? Like, we're actually getting a single player focused game? that was the only reaction to have, really. Yeah. Okay, I meant to throw that over the thing, but that's okay. Probably gonna switch off this weapon. I just kind of picked something. Well, I don't know, actually. I am kind of liking it. Don't think I'm doing amazing, but... oh my god. Dude. I have been chipping away at that, boss ranking video, too. I have been a little bit preoccupied by playing Donkey Kong. So, I don't know how soon it will come out. But that's probably the next thing. I don't want to make too many ranking videos, is the thing. Like, I don't want my channel to just, like, turn into, like, you know, ranking every single minute part of the Splatoon series. So I was kind of hesitant to immediately jump into doing the boss ranking, but I'm like, okay, I'll just say that in the video. I'll like, you know, I don't want to just do rankings, but this is, like, the natural follow-up to the level ranking video. And then hopefully I want to do... I have ideas for lore-related stuff. I just don't know exactly, like, what to start with. Oh yeah, for the people who friended me from the Splatoon 2 stream, you can see how much Donkey Kong I've been playing. Yeah, it's been a lot. I don't think I'm great at using splatter color screen. Oh my god. Okay, I'm actually surprised I lived. Okay, well. The only single player opinion I strongly disagree with is Revenge. Okay, well that is the bottom one on the boss ranking, so I don't know. I haven't really heard other people complain about that boss, so maybe it is just like a me thing, but yeah, I just don't like that one. I will say, I replayed some of the bosses to get footage for that video, and I do like the Octo expansion Octo Stomp more. I learned to appreciate it a bit. I don't know, I used to just think it was, like, really long for some reason, and, like, it's not that bad. And it has some cool, like, synergy with the bubble blower. I don't know, that one went up a bit in the rankings. It's really good? We're talking about the Octo expansion, Octo Samurai specifically here. So fun to replay. I just don't agree. Sorry if there was like a gulp sound. I'm drinking water too close to my mic. I mean, I don't dislike it because it's... Well, I do think it's punishing in an annoying way. Like, I don't dislike when things are hard. Like, that's the thing. Like, one of my highest ones on the list is Inner Agent 3. Like, it's not a skill issue. I think it's punishing to an annoying degree, where if you just get hit once, you get knocked out of the arena, and it's annoying. Yeah, I hope Raiders bosses are really something special. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, I like series more. Don't love these rotations. This music always makes me happy. Let's try this. This is something different for me. Why not? Let's give Rapid Blaster Pro a shot. I kind of like Suction Bomb on this. This is interesting. I mean, my main thing with Revenge of the Octo Samurai is that it doesn't feel good to attack the boss. Like, Baller, it just has a ton of HP, and Baller, like the way Baller is designed is like a multiplayer special where, you know, you have this charge up where you hold down the trigger and explode the ball, and then there's like this payoff of either killing another person instantly or hitting them like back with the baller's knockback. But when you're fighting the samurai, it just has like a million HP, and the explosion just does like a tiny chip of that HP, and then you're just stuck in the animation of like reforming the baller. So like you just have this slow, boring attack where you're just repeatedly holding down the trigger and barely doing any damage. Like I just think it feels bad to deal damage to the boss. That's my main issue with it. I don't think it will be Salmonids. I really don't. I don't know what they're doing with the Salmonids, but I don't know. I think the little like weird teaser like eye, whether it's a squid or a fish eye, I think it would have been more obviously salmonid like looking if that's what they were going for. Well, yeah, but if you bump into it, that does, like, even less damage. It's hold forward or hold right trigger to win the whole fight, and I don't find it very fun. Okay, see ya, Hugh. Thanks for stopping in. Nice, I like this weapon. I wouldn't say the worst level. I would still put, like the Rolunium level, or... I forget which other ones I ranked really low in the ranking video. There's a couple of Octo Expansion levels that do not hit, but it is only a small handful. Definitely my least favorite boss, though. She's talking about the Octo Samurai for 40 minutes and the others for 5. So I started writing the Grizz section. And I had to like, okay, I'm already complaining too much about the story. I need to just, I need to focus on the actual boss fight. I'm taking into account spectacle, like the same way I did the 3 categories for the level ranking video. For the boss ranking one, I'm doing, I just made the categories like, I might change this because I don't know how much sense this makes, but I had it as concept, spectacle, and mechanics. So it's like starting with just like the abstract like idea of what the boss is and how like good or unique of an idea I think that is. Then the like spectacle, like the visuals, the music, how it's like contextualized and everything. And then just like the actual like mechanics, the boss's attacks, how you fight it, you know, etc., etc. So like, you know, when it comes to Grizz, it's like objectively speaking, like, okay, there's like cutscenes and like high production value, but I don't like the contents of those cutscenes. So I am going to be like docking it points for that. But I'm trying to figure out how to not turn it into a whole second, you know, complaining about Return of the Mammalians video. Yeah, I swear I'm not trying to shove Return of the Mammalian hate into every video. It's just if I'm gonna be considering, you know, the entire series or talking about story to any extent, it's kind of just an inevitability. Okay. I do feel like I just have to account for it, because I, like, you know, the regulars on the stream, like, you're not gonna be a regular on this stream if you like Mr. Grizz, right? You're not gonna hang around for how much I complain about him, so I need to remember that I'm not making the video just for, like, the 12 people here. I'm making it for a lot of other viewers, some of whom do, in fact, like Return of the Mammalians. So I have to be a little bit more careful about what I say. Yeah, I mean, it's like, obviously, if I didn't think my points were valid, I wouldn't be making them, but I think the way you present a potentially unpopular opinion is important. Ah, shoot. That was a pretty good game, at least. I really don't know where to put the Nil statue fight. That's something I've been struggling with, because, like, that's kind of the other... I mean, it's not... Like, the gameplay isn't bad, but, you know, in terms of, like, feeling like a cool boss fight, I do think the mechanics of the Nil statue are, like, not amazing. You know, not, like, they definitely don't hold up against, you know, like, the Splatoon 1 Octavio fight, for example. But the, you know... the aesthetic and the story context elevate it so much to the point where it's like, I'm not sure exactly where to place it. You don't really like any of the Splatoon single player except the DLC, yet I'm still here. I mean, yeah, obviously there's always other things to talk about with Splatoon. But I've definitely, I imagine I have cultivated a bit of a following of, you know, also people who hate Grizz. I mean, I'm counting it as a boss fight. I think in the interview where they talked about Octo Expansion, they called it a boss fight. I didn't put it in the level ranking video, so I kind of have to rank it in the boss ranking video, right? Because it's one or the other. It almost, gameplay-wise, it is almost closer to, like, a test than a boss, just because, you know, you're on a time limit, riding rails, and shooting targets, essentially, but, you know, the only thing that really separates a boss fight from a level is, you know, the fictional context, right? Like, you can call anything a level versus a boss fight. Like, the crab tank level from Splatoon 3 has you using the crab tank to climb up a robot and shoot at, you know, weak points to quote-unquote defeat it, but, you know, you're just shooting at crates on, like, a platform that is in the vague shape of a humanoid robot. So it's like, it's not really a boss fight, but it's only not a boss fight because the game doesn't call it one. Like, you know, another game could maybe consider something with identical mechanics a boss fight. So, for me, the Nil statue counts. I think it should be considered a boss, but yeah, it's obviously a little bit hard to compare directly to some of the other fights in the series. Yeah, I mean, just like the way... I mean, this is why I like having numbers for the ranking. Like, I'm evaluating them based on a number of categories, because I just think it's, you know, it makes it feel a little more concrete. Like, for superficial reasons, yeah, the Nil statue is one of my favorite boss fights, but if I am, like, evaluating them in a list, you know, it makes sense to admit its shortcomings objectively. Like, obviously it's a subjective video, it's a ranking video, but I still think if I want to make a cohesive, you know, video discussing it, I can say, you know, these are the things it does, you know, worse than other boss fights. And, you know, of course, even that is subjective. Like, some people might think a boss fight that is a level is really cool, and is not a bad thing, but, you know, I don't know. That's why it's interesting to discuss, I guess, but well, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out eventually. Really, a lot of Octo Expansion bosses, well, not, I mean, I guess it's really just Agent 3 and Nil statue, but they definitely are, like, you know, hype moments and aura over... I don't know. I mean, the Spinal Phase Agent 3 boss fight isn't bad, but it does feel, like, very easy. I just don't like that it uses Baller. That's low-key my biggest problem with that fight. Like, I think having a, you know, a strong, like, player AI enemy that uses specials from multiplayer is really cool, but the ones it uses in the normal Agent 3 fight versus Inner Agent 3 are just, like, it uses, like, Curling Bomb Rush and Baller, which is, like, you know... You can literally just hold ZR for both of those and basically overcome them. The Stingray moment is really cool. And the triple splashdown is awesome. So it kind of balances out, but yeah. I don't know. Secret boss in Raiders will give you a shadow crystal. I hope they make super bosses again, dude. Inner Agent 3 was so cool. Like, they need to do something like that again. I was still really sad Side Order didn't have one. Well, it was the cooler triple splashdown. The triple splashdown before the lame Splatoon 3 one. I mean, it's not, I don't know. Splatoon 3 is okay, but it's not as cool as 3 splashdowns in a row. Cool. Glen Fiddler. I would take it. I would take Glen Fiddler if it meant we got a super boss. Three triple splashdowns. Yeah, that would be... that would be something, alright. Giant enemy crab. Boop, 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 boop. I'd be cool with going back to fighting giant robots. I have always been a fan of the Octobosses. I mean, I do think fighting, like, deep sea leviathans in Raiders is my current, like, copium. I think that would be very cool. But I like big robots. Big Man is also an interesting boss ranking, because I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but, like, I think the Phantom Manta boss fight from Mario Sunshine is just, like, better. Like, it's really cool that Big Man is a Mario Sunshine reference, but it's kind of just, like, a worse version of the boss fight it's referencing in terms of gameplay, so, like, I don't know. Boom. Metal Gear Ray, but it looks like a I like, yeah, I want I like big sea creature robots. I want more. Yeah, I'm not streaming to Mario. I'm to Mario? To Mario. I'm I'm only streaming today for this week. I wish I could stream to Mario. I wish Mario was one of my viewers. Well, Bonanza's bosses are not... I wouldn't really... I mean, like, yes, Grumpy Kong makes robots, I guess. Those are almost more like golems, I feel like. Like, they're not really, like, robots. I mean, like, Splatoon robots. The battle rush is so much harder than the... Yeah, I mean, the battle rush took me like 2 or 3 tries. I think I did the boss rush first try. So, neither of them were that hard, to be completely honest, but... yeah. The battle one was harder, which is kind of funny. That's one thing I kind of don't love about Bonanza, to be honest, is like... I don't know. I'm starting to realize that I think I don't like combat in video games as much as like I don't know. Like if a game has an in-depth combat system, I don't mind it just relying on combat for a lot of its gameplay, but you know, it's something I kind of talked about a lot in the level ranking video for Splatoon, is like if it's a level is just based on fighting things, I don't really like that. Like I want there to be I want it to be a platforming level or a level that like combines cool movements with combat. But like basically Bonanza has a bunch of these challenge rooms where you just go in and fight a bunch of enemies, and like it's like satisfying to fight enemies in Bonanza. There are some cool and creative things you can do. There's some interesting enemy types, but like a lot of it does boil down to just mashing the punch button. So like I feel like I personally definitely would have traded out like most of, if not all of those combat rooms for more like puzzly platforming gameplay. I don't know if that's just like my own opinion or if other people agree. I mean, they definitely felt like lazier, like, you know, designing a whole unique platforming challenge versus, you know, having a circle arena with a bunch of pre-existing enemies. Like, you know, they're definitely like the easier thing to implement. Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know. For me, they were not as fun. Dude, I was kind of hoping that bomb would work somehow. Do you reckon you could play Salmon Run at some point? I mean, I play it sometimes when there's like a big run. I don't really love streaming Salmon Run. I mean, I probably will at some point eventually, but I don't really have any plans right now. I'm just not very good at Salmon Run. And it's hard to do commentary while playing it. And I just don't like it as much, to be honest, but at some point I probably will. Maybe next like big run or whatever. Does it try him right now? I mean, that's cool. I might play it some on my own time then, but I'm probably not gonna stream it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I talked about it a bunch on the Splatoon 2 stream, but there's a number of quality of life changes to Salmon Run that I think would make me like it a lot more, and until those are there, I kind of just don't care at the moment. I play it on occasion when I want to play Splatoon but not PvP, but normally if I'm on Splatoon I do want to play PvP. Come on. Don't have the spacing down for this weapon. Oh. Oh, nice. Yeah, we talked about the Raiders rumor earlier, quite extensively, so I probably won't get back into that, but yeah. If it's 2025, that would be cool, but I also would not mind waiting a bit longer. Like what? For me, I mean, I would like to be able to choose my weapon. I get the point of the weapon rotation system. I do think it's interesting that the game forces you to adapt to different situations and use different weapons in the game that you wouldn't normally, but like, if a rotation has a bunch of weapons I don't like, I just don't want to play it. Like, I'm at a point where I'm familiar enough with Splatoon's mechanics that like, I kind of just know what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. I don't like that there's only ever one map in rotation, because I just get bored of it really fast. I kind of wish you could just set up a custom room with your own difficulty and actually get rewards from it. I know private job exists, but you don't get anything out of it so it's kind of hard to be motivated to do it. I guess those are the main things. Yeah, I mean, the weapon selections are better than, like, Splatoon 2. Because in Splatoon 2, sometimes you would literally get, like, E-liter scope. and, like, ink brush. But yeah, sometimes you just get screwed over with a bad rotation, and it's like, okay, well, I guess Salmon Run just sucks for the next 8 hours. Like, I just wish there was any way around that. I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't like segmented enemy design as much as, like, Octarians. Like, I just don't find the game as fun. I would love some kind of other PvE mode, or, like, co-op thing, where it was, like speedrun races, or, like, I don't know, some kind of thing where you just weren't fighting salmonids. I just don't really like salmonids. I just get bored of them. I don't like... I find their attacks kind of annoying. I don't know. What's your favorite weapon to play? I like all the splatter shots. I like 96 Deco. I like Splatter Shot Pro. I like some dualies. I guess those are the main ones at the moment. That's sad, what, I don't like Salmon Run? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've said this before, I just, like, it's cool that Salmon Run in Splatoon 3 is harder for the people who want to push the mode to its limits and, like, do overfishing and be really good, but, like, for me, I always like Salmon Run as more of a just kind of, like, chill out with friends and turn my brain off type of mode, so I wish there was, like, an option to just make it, like, more chill without, you know, like, intentionally de-ranking and throwing a bunch of games, because that kind of sucks. And also, like, the lower ranks don't get the special waves as often, which are, like, my favorite part. Like, I wish there was a way to play special waves while having the game not get harder, I guess. Or, like, you know, I like some amount of challenge, but I just... when it's, like, overwhelming and the game is slowing down because there's so many enemies on the screen and you're getting bumped into steel eels from an enemy that was off screen, like, I just don't find it fun. Two flingses, okay. Honestly, Glowflies just sucks. Genuinely, that is the one thing I will always say Splatoon 2 Salmon Run does better than Splatoon 3. Glowflies is just not fun. Like, it probably is a skill issue, I will openly admit that, but I don't enjoy it at all. I don't like Glowflies remotely. Yeah, like, I'm not arguing it's bad. Obviously, some people like Salmon Run more than the rest of the game. It's just a subjective thing. I don't like it as much. Oh, okay. I thought I was dying for some reason. There was ground. What are you doing there? Get out of there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Squid Sisters are at least mentioned. Obviously, I hope they don't show up, but there's probably going to be a scroll or something, to be honest. What's your favorite ranked mode? Either tower controller zones, probably. If they didn't replace it in 3, they're not going to replace it in 4. They're going to come up with some lore reason. I don't know. 3 showed us that clearly they prioritize the gameplay, like the mode existing, over having a lore explanation for it. So, yeah, I do not think they're getting rid of Salmon Run. I do hope it's, like, changed. Like, I want it to be, you know, I'm probably always just going to like Salmon Run less than PvP and Hero Mode, and that's fine, but I still think it's too similar between the games. Like, I don't know. Obviously, super hardcore Salmon Run people will say that 2 and 3 feel, like, wildly different, and, you know, they do, kind of, but it's still basically the same game in terms of, like, the structure and everything. Like, I would like, you know, like, completely overhaul all of the boss designs, or, like, you know, add more mechanics, add more sub-weapons, add abilities, add way more kings. Like I want, like, big changes for the next game. Honestly, I would not complain. I mean, I don't know. It's a thing I'm always conflicted on, because, like, I understand the point of fly fish and stingers. I get that it's like they want you to have to move around the map and not just sit in one location and be safe the whole game. So they have enemies that force you to move and force you to go down towards the shore. But I do feel like there's enough of them. Like, you have Big Shot, you have Stinger, you have Fly Fish. Like, you can probably get rid of at least one of them, right? Like, I think trimming down the boss roster and maybe adding new ones that are less annoying, certainly, I would not complain. I really did not think Splatoon 3 needed to bring back every previous Salmon Run boss. Oh. Hello, Green Gamer. Oh. Can I get 2? Nice. Cool. I'm liking this weapon a lot. This is really not something I've played very much in any Splatoon game outside of the single player. But I've been enjoying playing this. Cool. I think you're wrong, but I still like you. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know, like, I fully acknowledge that I'm a Salmon Run casual, and that my opinions would differ from people who are more hardcore fans of the mode, but, like, it would be nice if there was something that allowed me to play the mode in the way I would prefer. Like, I don't think they need to get rid of the things Salmon Run fans like. I just want more options, really. Yeah, I'm not able to stream tomorrow, so I just moved it to Friday for this week. Oh, this is just like the Chirpy Chips playlist. Okay, we got the best one. Alright. What else is there to yap about? I'm sure I'll latch onto something and talk about it for another like 40 minutes at some point. I am not expecting another third kits update. I know a lot of people were like, it seems like a lot of people are pretty hopeful about it, and I'm not exactly sure why. Like, I'm not sure what feels different about this time versus the way the other games were updated. I think Urchin was genuinely just like a surprise. Like, I don't think we're getting any more maps. I really think Urchin was just like a, hey, 10th anniversary, you know, this is a map people like, we can bring it back, rework it a little bit, add it in, boom. And third kits, I mean, you know, again, I've said this before, the only reason it was, you know, it felt weird that the game didn't have third kits is because the past two games had third kits, and now they have third kits for about half the weapons, which is what the other games did. So I feel like we have no reason to expect there will be any more content. Of course, I would like to be pleasantly surprised. I would not complain if every weapon got a third kit, but I don't think we currently should expect that. Oh my god. I chose a bad time to start trying to read chat. Hello, Gabriel. Yeah, like, I wouldn't complain about Reef. I understand wanting, you know, obviously, any map not from Splatoon 3 added to Splatoon 3 is going to make the overall percentages of maps in this game better, pretty much. Unless they put in, like, Gobi or Schellendorf. Jeez, wow. What even... I just heard the Autobomb. Okay, I thought I got, like, fall off there. But yeah, I'm just expecting nothing. Because I think that is the best way to, I just don't think there's any current, like, reason we have to believe we are getting more. And that way I can be pleasantly surprised and not disappointed. What's the highest series weapon power you got? I have no clue. I do not really pay attention to that. Oh god. Yeah, I mean, Salt Spray would be fun. I don't know. I feel like they would change it a lot. I can't really see them just, like, porting it over, and I don't know if that would be a good thing. So, I'm kind of indifferent to Salt Spray. Man. We are struggling to take back the zone. Okay. To me, the next page of maps is like the opposite. Like, to me, that's like, yeah, this was not like planned. They were not going to add another map to the game. They just threw it in. They called it a bonus update. Like, I feel like if there were going to be multiple, you know, it's not impossible to have multiple bonuses, but to me, that's like, okay, yes, content was genuinely over, and they saw that everyone wanted third kits and realized that it was the 10th anniversary, and they're like, okay, let's give them a bonus, you know? Let's add content to the game that we were not originally planning to do, which is why Urchin is awkwardly on the second page and why there's only third kits for some of the weapons. To me, that does not say we're getting the rest. It says we weren't even going to get this, and we're lucky to have it. There are weapons that have gone third kits in the past, but not in this game? Yeah, but that was true for Splatoon 2. Wasn't it? I'm not sure. I guess there were weapons that got Sheldon's picks. No, yeah. Wait. I thought that was the case. I'm not totally sure off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there were weapons that had third kits in Splatoon 1 that didn't in 2. I don't think that means that much, regardless. Like, you know, anything could get a third kit. Every weapon has a second kit, there's no reason they couldn't get third kits. I just don't think we're getting more. Okay, that wasn't the case before, apparently, but yeah. What I said stands. I don't think that means much. Okay, I did forget about the Octoling shoes. And the Marlin change. I mean, I still think we need tricolor and PBs. I think if we get any more content in the game, they're gonna put Splatfest content into private battles. I don't know why that hasn't happened yet. But I don't think that means, you know, like, yes, in a perfect world, we get the rest of the third kits, Splatfest content in private battles, and map reworks. But I think, realistically, we get those map reworks and maybe Splatfest content and PBs. I still just don't think we have, like, a solid reason to believe we are getting more weapons. I got carried that game. Dynamo got 20. Wow. But yeah, I don't know. That's currently my thoughts on that. Again, would love to be pleasantly surprised, but I don't currently have reason to believe it's happening. Yeah, I think the much more significant statistic is the fact that the other games did not give third kits to all the weapons, rather than just like there being a few outliers that didn't get them in all 3 games. What if they added more fly fish? I would not enjoy that. I would not play Salmon Run. Hi, Dan. I would say you spawned in the second we talked about Salmon Run, but we actually had a whole discussion that you weren't here for, so that didn't happen. My favorite weapon... I would say my favorite weapon right now is actually 96 Deco. I like Splattershot. All the Splattershots a lot, but 96 Deco. Yeah, Dynamo getting 20 is impressive. I mean, some of it might be assists, but what do you even get an assist with on that weapon, though? It has, like, Sprinkler, right? I don't remember, actually. Busy living in the real world and doing real world things? Well, too bad, because now you're in the cosmic cloud. Bing, bing, boom. You cannot escape, Daniel. Bing, bing, bing. Stream's been good. I already, like... I go into a lot of streams, like, not really thinking I have anything to talk about, and then I just go on some, like... I don't know if you would call it an unhinged rant, passionate rant, maybe both, about something. And that already happened a couple of times. But yeah, we're chilling. I will never be a third species believer. I don't think we need that, personally. Yeah, I am enjoying this weapon, surprisingly. Okay, wow. Just locked in for a second. I can actually do things with this weapon, maybe. Yeah, please no salmonlings. I assume they meant fuzzy. when they said furry. Unless you're talking about like an anthropomorphic dog and squid creature. I think that might be a little too much. I don't know about that one. Whoa! Both can. I don't think either can work, to be honest. I don't know. You're asking a lore guy. Some people might want a third species, but that's not here. Yeah. I don't know. This is definitely a weapon that I never touched much in multiplayer, but I like it in single player. So I actually do have like a decent idea of its like range and stuff. I feel like it's in quite a few Octo expansion levels. And that one Alterna level with the balloons. I just, there's lots of ways you can add more customization options without doing another species. I don't know. I mean, the third species thing, like, I don't want to like sound like elitist, but it's like they've built this, you know, lore around two humanoid species playing ink battles, and like from a more casual perspective, it might just be like, oh, there are sea creature people that play in the ink battles, but like if you actually look at like the world they've designed, it wouldn't really make sense to just like throw in a third one. And I do think, despite some of the things they have done with the story and lore in Splatoon 3, I don't think they would go so far as to literally just like invent a new creature that is suddenly super important to the world but never existed in the past games. Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you want to make a Shark Girl OC, that's fine, but it doesn't really make sense for that to be a thing in Splatoon. At least not shooting ink, because why would a shark shoot ink? I'm pretty sure Big Man's existence, like, unless you consider him a mantaling, I'm pretty sure he deconfirms mantas ever being a thing. Like, or mantalings as playable characters. Yeah, like, if people want to have fun with it for fan content, that's fine, but if we're talking about, like, actual, like, hopes for Splatoon 4, then no, I definitely do not want it. Shoot. The name isn't Splatoon 4? I mean, Splatoon Raiders is not... Splatoon Raiders is a spin-off game. We're definitely not getting a different species in Splatoon Raiders, otherwise I'm pretty sure the main character in advertising would not be an Inkling. So, if we're speculating about species, it would not be this game. It would be Splatoon 4. Starfishlings? I mean, I feel like people just forget about the fact that they shoot ink. Right? Like, they're squids and octopi because squids and octopi use ink. Like, it's not just be a sea creature. There are there are other variables here that matter. Like, there's just not really anything else that works. Like, okay, yeah, cuttlefish. If they really wanted, they could put cuttlefish in the game. I just don't... Like, why would they do that? Yeah, I'm just playing series for today. yeah, the whole thing with salmonids is like they're intentionally a different society. Like they are a different species with their own culture and values and beliefs and biology. Like if you just make a humanoid salmonid, that just goes against everything they have been established to be. It doesn't make sense to just put that into the world in the game after it has been very clearly made to not be a thing. Well, the character named Cuttlefish is not a cuttlefish, unfortunately. Which is, I understand that is confusing, but yeah. The closest we've ever seen to cuddlings is like one piece of art. I think it's literally just concept art in Octo Expansion's art book. It's not even in the game. So basically they're not, you know, as far as we know, they're not, I don't want to say not they're basically not canon. I mean, some stuff in the art book we do consider canon, but we don't really. If cuddlings are a thing, I guess the question would be like, why aren't they in the game already? You know, like why aren't they NPCs or playable characters in the world? So I'm inclined to just say they're not canon until they actually exist in the game. I mean, it's not like every, like, I don't know. I don't want to be like, you know, hating on people making OCs or whatever. Like, there's other sea creatures that exist in Splatoon's world. If it's just specifically we're talking playable ones, they kind of need to be ink-based. But if you want just like NPCs or shopkeepers or whatever, then yeah, they can just be any sea creature. That's fine. Well, one of the band members is a blue ring Doctoling. So those are canon, at least. It's just, you know, I guess, yeah, like if that was a customization option, that'd be cool. I would not take issue with that. Although technically, like, it is a different species. I don't know. I mean, obviously Inklings are already a little bit, like, you know, the different designs of the idols are based on specific, like, species of creature, but they're all technically just Inklings. So they could probably get away with that, and it wouldn't really be a problem. Harmony is an enemy, yeah. See an enemy. Oh, nice. Sometimes this weapon just, like, starts working. Oh. Oh my god, that was... okay. Definitely pushed up a little too far there. Hopefully a safe jump. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not a safe jump. Well, Fry being a vampire squid is a misconception. She's based off an eel. I think it was just like one post. I don't know. That was a whole thing online where people were saying Fry was based on a vampire squid when she's not. Shiver has a bunch of shark theming and Fry has a bunch of eel theming in line with, you know, obviously the animals they, like, control and their names. So it doesn't really make sense for it to be a vampire squid. Yeah, the fangs are based off an eel. I mean, she's literally called Fry and, like, is an eel charmer. I just, why would her design be a vampire squid when Shiver is a shark? or yeah, Shiver's an octoling, but their names are based off shark and eels, and they're, you know, Shiver has like shark tooth earrings, and Gill like rips in her pants, and like like they're obviously based on a shark and eel in terms of their like outfits and visual designs, but they are obviously Shiver's an octoling and Fry's an inkling. I mean, you're good. I'm not like trying to like target you. It's just it's been a thing in the community that is weird that people just latched onto. Like, oh, Fry's a vampire squid. Like, no, that's not. It doesn't make sense. Maybe I can get my S+ back on this stream. That'd be nice. Never noticed the pant rips were gills. Yeah, for some reason, like I feel like it took me a while to notice too, but that definitely is what they are. Do. I'm pretty sure Fry's pants are also like, I don't know, I might be making that up. I think like eel gills are like more like holes, so that's what like Fry's pants are supposed to be. I don't know if you call those pants. Whatever Fry's wearing. Do. I mean, if you look at them in the studio, they like wave to you. That's probably the closest you're getting. I don't like eels, by the way. Like, I think a lot of sea creatures are really cool. It's partly because of my interest in Splatoon, but partly just like actual marine biology. Like, I genuinely just think squids are really cool, and octopuses, and isopods, and like jellyfish and stuff. But eels are like my least favorite animal. Specifically the ones that are like I think like moray eels are not that bad, but there's like, I've talked about this before on stream. There's a specific type of eel that's basically just like a tube with teeth. And it's like, not like, it's like a leech, but it's like not exactly. But they just like creep me out. I don't know. I do not enjoy them. Cool. Lamprey eel might be what I'm thinking of. I should learn the name so I can hate on them properly and also fall off the map. Oh, hagfish. Hagfish might actually be, yeah. God, I hate those. There's that one video that's like the sped up footage of like a bunch of eels just like eating like a corpse of another fish, and it's like, ugh. I don't know, I hate that. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, well, fair enough. Okay, well maybe it's not. Are lampreys not eels? I thought it was a lamprey eel. I thought that was like the full name of the animal. I don't know about hagfish. They might not be. They're like adjacent though. There is no type of eel that I do like, so regardless. I don't like eels either, if they are different. Ooh. Jeez. I feel like we can win this game, so I'm gonna try and lock in a little bit here. Shoot. Oh, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. Ah! Do you watch Clint's Reptiles? No. I don't really watch, like... I took a few, like, marine bio classes in school, but that's not really a thing I, like, look into that much in my own time nowadays. Ooh, there's a small chance. There is a chance, there is a chance, there is a chance. This jump is probably not helping our chances. I'm alive. Okay, okay. Don't die to the whale, don't die to the whale. Okay. Okay. This brush, this brush. It's very hard to deal with my weapon. Okay. Everyone grab. Please, please team grab it. Oh my god. Dude. They're not seeing that brush. Dude. Okay. I mean, I this wayed for the brush, I went to fight the brush, he killed me, then the brush flanked and killed my entire team somehow. So, that's not, it's not entirely my fault. I tried my best, dude. Do. I should put on like a money ticket or something, probably. I don't know. Or XP ticket. I'll put on an XP ticket. I have like a million of these and I always forget to use them. Yeah, I mean, I try not to blame too many of my losses on teammates, but sometimes you get situations where it's like, I'm doing everything in my power to help them, and they are not cooperating, so it's like, you know, can't always be in control of every situation. Dude, can they stop? Now there's two brushes. I don't want to fight brushes. This is like the worst comp to fight with this weapon, to be honest. Because like they have the well string constantly painting the zone, blaster to contest me, and brushes to just be annoying. That is exactly what is happening. Okay, that was somehow a direct. Oh my god. I mean, it was swim up into the brush or swim down into the stamp. I don't really know. Please get them out of here. Dude, do you really have to wail every 5 seconds? Do they have... Okay, they do have 2. It's both the brushes. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Jeez, that's annoying. I don't actually totally hate this map for zones. It definitely sucks in some other modes, mostly tower in my experience, but the map is not the problem here. It is the comp we are fighting. I think I go. Oh, I'm marked. Ah, okay. I did not see that bomb until it was too late. Yeah, because like the middle of the map isn't terrible, it's mostly just the sides that suck. So like, it sucks when a bunch of the fight has to happen here, like when they are pushing up right now. But when you actually just have control of the zone and you're just controlling mid, it's fine. But then in tower and Rainmaker, you have to play most of the game on the ramps, and that's not fun. They're not well designed. God. Have any conflicting feelings about Bonanza? What don't you like about it? I feel like my complaints with that game are, it's a very short list. Although if you're not done yet, I will say I personally think it gets much better. Like halfway through, I think the game picks up a ton. It's not bad before that, but I think it gets better. Oh, you beat it when it released. Okay, well, I don't know then. Nice. I mean, this is managing to be a pretty close game. We just need to get them out of there for long enough. I need to jump less. I always jump too much. It's hard to say if I like it better than Odyssey. Odyssey's movement, like, the reason it's hard for me, I mean, generally I'm just going to be more biased towards Mario than Donkey Kong, because I just like him better as a character, and like, I think Odyssey has some better worlds. I think Donkey Kong is a very creative game in its like design, but some of just like the, you know, the forest area feels a little generic. The ice world is just like, okay, we're doing freeze flame for like the millionth time. I think it lacks kind of like a standout like set piece location, like what New Donk City was for Odyssey. I mean, Odyssey has a lot of those because you have New Donk, you have like even like Luncheon, I'd say. Fossil Falls is like iconic in its own right, even if it's not like, you know, a crazy level. Steam Gardens, I feel like is pretty special. Sand Kingdom, you have like the inverted pyramid. I feel like Odyssey's like locations are a lot more iconic, and I like Odyssey's movement more still, I would say. But I think my problem with Odyssey was always that I felt like it didn't get enough out of its movement. Like, yes, there's like skips and cool speedrunning tech you can learn, but like it feels like to me like the bread and butter movement of the game is just doing like, you know, cap throw dive, and there's like almost no jump in the game that actually requires you to like use that to its full extent. Like there's very few places where you really are pushed to like use Mario's movement in a super interesting way. Whereas with Donkey Kong, I actually think it gets like a lot out of its movement. Like even without the speedrun skips, it just feels like you're actually using the full extent of your moveset a lot more often. And I think the Bonanzas are a nice like extension of that. Like that was an issue with Odyssey where the captures are like the power-ups of that game, but for pretty much every capture in the game, while you get a new ability, you lose almost all of Mario's basic moveset. Like most of them can like move around and jump, but you can't do a cap throw anymore. Whereas with the Bonanzas and Donkey Kong, you can still do everything. You can still punch forward, punch up, punch down, you can roll, you can grab chunks and swing, you can chunk jump, you can spin jump, like you can still do all of the things that Donkey Kong can normally do, you can just do other things on top of that. And so I think the Bonanzas are better than captures. Like pretty much full stop, I believe that. And I think the levels feel more properly built around the full extent of Donkey Kong's movement. But I think the movement for me still feels it never quite reaches like the peak of Odyssey capping movement for me. So I think the games are about even for me, with maybe a lean towards Odyssey just because I like Mario more than Donkey Kong. But there's definitely things Bonanza does better. I do think generally bananas are better than moons, too. They feel more rewarding to get. Yeah, music, like, outside of the Bonanza transformations, I think most of the area music in Donkey Kong is not anything outstanding. Most of my favorite tracks in the game are actually the more, like, ambient ones. Like, I think, like, The Divide has a really interesting vibe. Resort Layer isn't entirely ambient, but it's like just a good vibe, good atmosphere. But yeah, there's not really like catchy like melodies to most of them, or like memorable like. There's no Steam Gardens, right? There's no New Donk City. Like no Jump Up Superstar really. I mean the Bonanza songs are good. The credits music is really good. But yeah, no like crazy, like no real memorable boss themes or like character themes. Like Pauline has like a motif throughout the game that gets developed in kind of an interesting way, but outside of that, like, yeah. To be honest, a couple of the bananas are hidden in kind of like stupid locations, but like, the fact that they're all optional, like, it just changes the, like, the psychological effect of collecting a banana. It's like, you know, it changes from I'm getting, you know, a number of these to progress through the game to, oh, I'm just getting these to upgrade my character through skill points. So it doesn't have the issue that Odyssey had where it feels like it devalues, the harder to get bananas by having easy ones around because all of them are valuable. And I think having more triple bananas and like the quintuple bananas, like those feel so much better to get than a multi-moon, because now it's like, okay, this is like a whole skill point in one collectible, whereas getting 3 moons was like, okay, well now it just makes it even more pointless to explore and interact with the rest of the game, because I can just do the main objective. I also just like, I think there's like less of them. Like, because there's more I'm pretty sure there are more layers in Donkey Kong than there are kingdoms in Odyssey, and there's not all of like the post-game filler. Like, so some people really like Mario Odyssey's post-game. I don't really know what like the general consensus is, but like, I think Odyssey's post-game is like one of the most boring parts of any Mario game. I really dislike the post-game moons that you get from the moon rocks. It's like, some of them are cool. I think like Dark Side and Darker Side are good as like, okay, these are like additional post-game challenge worlds that actually like push the game's core mechanics further. But most of the ones you get from just returning to the other kingdoms are like, it's just busy work, it's just chores. I'm just walking in circles around the kingdom, going to the waypoints on the map, and doing some like menial task. I don't like those at all. And I was really glad that Donkey Kong didn't have that. Because I genuinely, they just feel like a waste of time, and it make 100%ing the game just a chore. So yeah, I like Donkey Kong's post game a lot more. How would you like Deep Cut to be further characterized? I mean, my whole thing with Deep Cut is always like, yeah, the fossils are a bit whatever. But I don't know. Well, you can rematch all of the bosses. I'll get to the Deep Cut thing in a second. We're still just kind of mid Bonanza Odyssey discussion. Yeah. I mean, I mostly just did buy maps for the fossils. Like, I didn't waste a ton of time just going around spamming radar, so I will say, okay, so both games, it's actually low-key more of a problem in Donkey Kong than it was in Odyssey, but both games literally just require you to grind, which is a little odd. Like in Odyssey, to get all of the costumes, for some reason there's multiple costumes in post-game that cost like 9,999 coins, and like, I'm pretty sure the coins max out at that. So like, you literally cannot organically collect that much money in one playthrough. And you, like, I remember when I was 100% in Odyssey for the first time, I literally just went into, like, I looked up, like, the best sub-area to grind coins and just did it over and over and over again. And for Bonanza, I did the exact same thing. The game, like, kind of gives you better, like, organic-ish ways to grind gold. But I did end up just looking, like, up a sub-area, and it was way faster. It was way more efficient. And there's just a lot of weird kind of like unnecessary gold requirements. Like there's a bunch of Grumpy Kong stuff where he's like, hey, get me 120,000 gold. And like, I don't really know what the benefit of that is. Because it basically just requires you to grind for like no real good reason. I also like, I mean, you guys saw me react to that on stream, but in like, I'll try to avoid too much spoiler territory. But in, like, the final-ish area of Donkey Kong, you can skip past them, but the, like, quote-unquote intended way to get through is literally just, like, to pay NPCs, like 10,500 gold? Which, like, I just don't get why that was implemented. It's a really weird decision to me. Because, like, yes, you can skip past it. I did skip past one of them, but if you're just like a casual player going through the intended method of the game, you're like probably not going to have that money and you're just gonna have to go back and grind. So it's like, why? I don't really understand the developer's obsession with having you just need to get ludicrous amounts of currency to progress through certain points of the game. So that's something I just straight up disagree with. I don't understand the point of that. Also, okay, one last thing I just want to say about this. The skill tree. For some reason, collecting every actual, like, organic collectible moon in the game is actually not enough to max out the skill tree, and it's, like, close. Like, you only need, like, a little bit more, so it's like, I don't really understand why they didn't just, like, lower some of the requirements, or like, I mean, again, I don't want them to just add a bunch of filler moons into the game, so I'm glad they didn't do that. but I ended up just having to grind a bunch of banana chips and buy the rest of them. And it's like, feel like there could have been a better solution there, to make that not be the case. Yeah, that was a weird decision. But anyway, I kind of want to talk about deep cut characterization because someone asked about that. My whole thing with deep cut, you know, pivoting a bit here back to Splatoon, I always just feel like the other idols have these like kind of personas on like the news and like kind of, you know, being like idols. It's like, okay, we have like these goofy personalities and we like bicker or, you know, have this kind of back and forth dynamic, but then there's some other element that like grounds them and makes them feel more like real people. Like obviously with Callie and Marie you have them being pop idols and secret agents, but then you also have things like the Squid Sisters stories and kind of like their relationship with one another in Splatoon 2. Like they feel like there are aspects to them that make them more like relatable as characters and feel more like real people. And I'd say Off the Hook probably does this the best, because, you know, they have the chat logs, which kind of really flesh them out as just like people, with like, you know, Marina has her whole kind of past that she feels uncomfortable about, and conflicted about, and, you know, you have Pearl and Marina's relationship that feels very genuine, and then you have Deep Cut, and they just don't have that. They're goofy bandit idols with weird like superpowers, and they're just like Team Rocket, and they just really never get that extra bit of depth that makes them feel like more believable. Like they don't have the Squid Sisters stories, they don't have chat logs. There's like a little bit of like potential there with like the whole like they met in middle school thing, but they just like, I never really get the sense that they like aren't just like, you know, weirdo idol characters, like we are like weird bandits with like anime powers. Like, so that's what I want for Raiders, is let them be goofy, you know, let them be fun characters, but also give them like some kind of grounding element that's like, you know, like a struggle. Give them a problem. Let there be actual tension between Shiver, Fry, and Big Man that isn't just like played off for a joke or a song like in Big Betrayal. Like let there be an actual dynamic there that they have to like grow beyond, or like that gets developed. That's the main thing I want. Really, I think I want them to like argue. I feel like they currently have this kind of weird dynamic where it's like they don't get along, but they do at the same time. And it's like, I feel like we gotta see why that is the case, right? Like, what do they actually contribute to each other? Because currently it just feels like Big Man just gets the short end of the stick every time. Like, he does all the work to write their songs and produce the music, if Shiver and Fry just like push him around and are just jerks to him. And like, you know, there's maybe like that one line of dialogue that's like, oh, Shiver, you actually do care. You had like tickets to whatever. I don't even remember what the Splatfest was. And that's like the only thing I can think of. That's like, that's the thing that Big Man actually gains out of this relationship, out of this dynamic. So I want them to like, you know, if you're not going to have them argue and be mean with one another, then have them, you know, have a like healthier relationship. Like, give us a reason to not just think they're like psychotic. Because currently in Splatoon 3, like, unless Big Man is just like a, you know, glutton for punishment, I don't get why he hangs out with Deep Cut, genuinely. So I hope there's more there. I also hope Fry just like has a more distinct personality. Like, I don't know if it's a hot take, but like Fry just like, genuinely to me, out of like every single idol, Fry is the most like nothing to me. I know Fry has like some very passionate fans, but it's like, how much of this is like, okay, you like Fry's like design and animations versus you like her writing? Because to me, her writing is just like, I just don't get what her character is. Like, is she a foil to Shiver, or are they just like friends that are chill? Like, she has like a family, she likes fighting people, I guess. Like, I just don't really get what her character like is. I don't know. I feel like she like doesn't have a very she doesn't have a lot of like clearly defined traits compared to the other idols. Like even Big Man, I would say. And like, I mean, Shiver doesn't have much more, but at least Shiver is like, she's like greedy, and like kind of like egotistical. Like there are elements that don't necessarily make Shiver likable, but they at least make her distinct. Whereas with Fry, I'm just like, her personality is eels. Yeah, like I just don't really get what I meant to latch onto with her. That's always been like one of my biggest issues with Deep Cut. Is just I don't get what Fry is in their dynamic. So, yeah, those are the big things for me, I guess. I do think Fry would be much more interesting if she was the leader of Deep Cut too, because I again, like that was, you know, the first anniversary Splatfest, and in Return of the Mammalians, like she very much comes across like the leader, and like kind of like the smartest of them, but then like, you know, there is no arc for Deep Cut in that story, so that like nothing really comes of that, and then Shiver won the Splatfest and is technically the leader of Deep Cut now, so. Like, now they kind of can't run with that angle, I guess. I just don't really, like, on the news, I sort of get the sense Shiver is the leader because she, like, does most of their introduction, you know, the Deep Cut intro and outro is very much like led by Shiver. But their dynamic in Return of the Mammalians is totally like, it's almost like to me like Shiver is like the leader of them as idols and Fry is the leader of them as bandits. If that makes sense. And I don't know if it's a good thing that it is that way. I don't know if there's anything they can do with that, but that's the vibe I get at least. I mean, Bonanza is pretty much the only Donkey Kong game I've played, so I guess I don't have much to add in terms of the art direction. I can't say I was bothered by it, but I could understand if like you're a fan of the series, that you might not find it fitting. I don't know. I guess I don't know much to add to that. The level design being non-existent, I do not agree with. Again, I actually think Bonanza does a much better job of like knowing when to limit you and when to let you just kind of do whatever versus Odyssey. I don't know. I would need to hear more specifics, but I do not agree with that point on the surface level. Zero challenge. Definitely the bosses are too easy. I didn't really have a problem with the difficulty of the platforming, personally. Yeah, I mean you can criticize it without hating on it. I don't think that's being a hater. But I also don't. I personally don't agree with those points, but it seems valid. Especially the art direction thing, like that's just subjective. Depends on how much of a history you have with the series. I think the game looks too much like Odyssey? See, I actually have a huge problem with Odyssey's art direction, so that's interesting to me. Like, I think DK Bonanza... The thing I hate about Odyssey's art direction is just how inconsistent it is. So for me, Bonanza was much better, just because the whole game actually looks like it's part of the same game. But I don't know, outside of like the enemy designs, like I think some of the enemy designs are kind of weird and maybe not super fitting for Donkey Kong, but the world to me is okay. But I don't know, again, I'm not really like comparing it to past Donkey Kong games because I don't have experience with that. The realistic dragon is one of the things, and like, I mean, I've mentioned this several times on stream, I think, but like, it's intentional. Like, Odyssey's developers, I'm pretty sure, I don't have like a developer quote, but like, I think the game is about travel, and they wanted to emphasize like how it feels to go to like a different country and for like everything to be totally different. Which is why, you know, one kingdom will be cartoony, and then you go to New Donk City, and they have like realistic buildings and trees and like realistically proportioned humans. And then you go to Luncheon Kingdom, and there's like polygonal fruits and like super saturated colors. And then you go to Mushroom Kingdom, and you have like, you know, classic like Mario designs for like the trees and the grass and everything. Like, it's intentional. I just don't think it's good. I think you could. I think you could emphasize like different design motifs while still having everything be stylistically consistent, and that's not what it is, and I just think it looks bad. Like, on one hand, it's cool. It doesn't with Metro. It doesn't bother me as much. It's mostly. I really hate the way the grass looks, which I know it sounds like a weird complaint, but it's just like, they just kind of like mapped like a realistic grass texture onto like Mario levels, and I just think it looks really bad. It looked dated on release. I kind of don't like the ruined dragon, because like, while it is like a cool moment that it's like, wow, there's like a Dark Souls dragon in Mario, like, we've also seen other dragons in Mario, and like, I kind of would just rather it be a little bit more consistent with that, considering everything else in the game looks like Mario. I don't know. I don't like it. In short, I don't like it. I don't like it being inconsistent. I would rather it all be the same style. So yeah. I'm not really familiar enough with Sonic Unleashed to know how that game does it, but yeah, maybe. I also, this is kind of also an issue with Bonanza. I don't like that the sub-areas are like, just like weird platforming dimension. Like, I really wish they tried a bit harder to actually like incorporate them. Like, it's fine if it's like, okay, you're going through like a door that's a loading zone, and now you're not in the open zone anymore, you're in a platforming level. Like, I get that, but like, I kind of just wish it was actually decorated like the level where it takes place. Like, I don't really like them just being in like the weird void dimension. It's more of a problem in Mario Odyssey for me, because I think most of the actual like good platforming in the game takes place in the sub areas. Whereas with Bonanza, I do think there is actually good level design that is in the open zone, and so is actually decorated in line with the theme of the open zone. But in both games, it's not something I like very much. I just don't think floating platforms fits any game. I like... I think it literally always looks bad. Like, in Splatoon is the closest I've come to liking it, and again, that's because Splatoon levels... Like, when Splatoon does it right, it's because they make it an environment. They make it look like floating sky islands, or like cranes holding up platforms, or, you know, they make it look like floating UFOs and like hover tech. Like, whenever it is just like Mario Maker blocks, like, I don't want to say it's like unacceptable, because that feels a little like, I don't know, like pretentious or like, you know, entitled, but like, I I really wish they would stop doing it. I really just think it looks bad and underwhelming every time. Okay, I don't really know what I was doing with the cooler. I meant to throw it down at least. Sonic Frontiers is like okay. I'd say Sonic Frontiers doesn't really get away with it either, because then it just borrows level aesthetics from previous games. Like, when they go all in with the cyberspace theming with, like, the highway world, I think it works, but when it's just, like, Green Hill but floating platform, I personally don't like that very much. I mean, Sonic Frontiers art direction is a whole other conversation, because I also think the open zones in that game are kind of ugly and just look like, you know, Sega hired this man, you know, Unreal Engine grassy plain. I don't really like Frontiers art direction very much. Yeah, I mean, and I do think it's easier in a 2D game, to be fair, because it's like, you know, if you want to limit the player to only being able to stand on a floating platform for gameplay reasons, like, how do you contextualize that in a 3D space? Like, you know, and I don't need it to be, like, perfectly believable, but I guess rather than just having, like, the blue void, like, here, do I have, like, okay, wait, let me, because I might have, like, I definitely have spoilers in some of my screenshots. Let me see if I have, like, a comparison here. Yeah, hang on. This, I can like compare like that to that. So we have like this is technically late game, but it's not really a spoiler on its own. So we have like this, right? Which is, the background is just like purple and blue dimension. Right? Like there's nothing, like, this is just video game level. Like the icicles are a mechanic. You have icicles on a metal ceiling surrounded by a solid block of electricity, and I'm running on a rectangle of water. Like, this is not an environment. This is a video game level, and there's no effort to make that actually like believable. And then you have like, this is a different part of a level. Look at this. So I'm you know, I'm using a zip line. Like, I'm clearly limited to traveling just along these zip lines. Like, there's nothing I can do to actually break this part of the level, but it looks like I'm going through a cave with a rocky ceiling and like slippery, watery rock walls, and like I pass by a waterfall and there's like glowing rocks. Like that's all it takes. And it's like, I'm not trying to say that's easy. Like, decorating an entire game is like, it's like, it's a hard thing to do. I'm not saying it like doesn't, like, it obviously does require more effort from them, but that is the step I would really like to see those kinds of games take. So yeah, I guess that's my point there. But it's the exact same issue with Splatoon. It's like, I don't mind if you even have some floating platforms, just make it look like they're somewhere. You know, just like at least imply that there's like a gamified version of an environment that does exist in canon, instead of the game literally just taking place in the linear level design void. I just want there to be like a little bit more put into it. And again, with Bonanza, it doesn't really bother me that much, because I think at least there are less of those sub areas, and some of them are decorated. For whatever reason, some of them they actually put in the effort, but just a bunch of them they didn't. It's a bigger problem I have with Odyssey. It's a problem I have with recent Splatoon. I mean, side order for me is enough. I mean, side order is kind of a weird case, because it's like the actual playable space is so small. And most of the time there is only one platform, so I think it's easy to kind of suspend your disbelief, and just be like, because the backgrounds of side order are really good. Like, you do actually feel like you're climbing up a physical tower. There's some environmental storytelling with the memory cubes. and like the black ink and like the incinerators and the chimneys, and the mixer. Like there's a lot going on, and I think it actually is pretty good. But it's just, you know, in a perfect world we could blend the actual yeah, of course Memverse also kind of gets away with it because it is canonically just inside of a computer, but ironically looks more like a physical place than Return of the Mammalian somehow, which, yeah. But yeah, if we want to talk more specifically, I hope Raiders, I mean, obviously I said that in the video, but I really do hope Raiders is mostly in, like, at least partially believable environments that exist in the canon. I just need it to be, like, a little bit better, you know? Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. I don't need to be playing, like, The Last of Us 2 looking environments with Splatoon gameplay mixed in. I just make it, like, make sense. Just make it make sense. That's all I ask. I will say, Donkey Kong Bonanza, in my opinion, does not have the island problem with its open zones, which is something that was a big deal with Odyssey, where you'd get to the edge of the world and it's just a hard cutoff, and that's just the end of it. Like, I'd say, like, Lagoon Layer kind of has it, although I think it looks a lot more natural. Like, it's kind of, it's sort of like Cascade level. I think Cascade Kingdom does, like, a decent enough job of feeling like, okay, this is like a cliff, so you're just on the top of, like, a mountain coming out of the water. Like, at least it's not a void. Whereas with Luncheon, you literally have, like, a circle of Pepto-Bismol lava floating over nothing. And Mushroom Kingdom is just a 90-degree drop. The level just ends, and there is no attempt to make it, like, look like an actual environment. I think Bonanza mostly does a very solid job of actually blending the you know, barrier of its levels with the surrounding environment. At least compared to Odyssey, for sure. Which I'm surprised they were managed to achieve in, like Radiance Layer. There's, like, that big, bright, sandy area. I feel like that should be one that feels like it just ends, but I kind of, like, I never really got that sense of, like, my immersion breaking because the level just ended. I think part of it is also just that the environments are bigger, so there's, like, a lot less time you're going to be spending on the very edge of them. Whereas Odyssey would literally, like, intentionally place purple coins, like, off of a ledge that was just a 90-degree drop. Shoot. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the one island that we could see in the Raiders trailer did kind of look like it was, like, volcanic, which, like, I mean, that's what's really exciting about Raiders is, you know, I like Splatoon's, like, you know, kind of urban, you know, scrap metal, futuristic vaporwave. Like, I like all the aesthetics Splatoon has explored, but there's lots of, like, kind of basic video game biomes that we've just never seen in the Splatoon style. So, like, yeah, seeing, like, a Splatoon lava level would be pretty exciting. Like, and obviously I don't want them to, like, just be less creative. Like, I do think, like, Octo Expansion, even, like, Return of the Mammalians, for how poorly the backgrounds are explained within the canon, you know, having something like the infinite cylindrical cityscape, like a Megapolis type deal, is a lot more creative and unique than just, like, you know, Fire World, Ice World, Beach World. Like, I do like that Splatoon has always had that unique flair to it, but I also think, like, combining some of that with more traditional video game settings and biomes could be really exciting. So I wouldn't totally mind if we do end up exploring, like, I don't want to say more generic environments, but just definitely more naturalistic environments, something outside of, like, the city or Octarian society, or whatever the hell Alterna is supposed to be. I'm interested to see the Splatoon team's take on that. Oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make a video on Bonanza. Like, it might seem like I have a lot to say, but like, most of the major ideas I've kind of already said on the stream. Like, I liked doing a playthrough on the live streams. I like yapping about it, but it's not really something I plan to make a video on. Falling into lava would probably be worse. Yeah, I mean, they'd probably just do like you'd probably just like sink into it. I don't know. Shooting ink at lava? I mean, I don't know if you mean like the in-universe chemical reaction or like if it was in the game. I imagine in the game it'd probably be pretty similar to shooting ink into water. But yeah. I don't know, maybe if the ink could like harden and you could walk over it, that would be interesting, I guess. Well, I think there's not a lot of, like, canon information on it. If we're going off of Rassicus's interpretation of how specials work, the entire thing was that they use specials to expel the heat from their body. Like, they do it because they have to cool down. So I think lava would definitely still kill them. It might charge their special and then kill them, but I don't think it would be good for them. Yeah, they would just evaporate. Like, their special is like boiling water, or, you know, boiling ink, and lava would probably just turn them into inky steam. I mean, realistically, I think the in-game depiction would probably be a pretty similar animation to dying in water. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it would heat them up to a lethal extent. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously you're not going to see, like, the flesh melt off of them or whatever, but, like, I just don't think it would be... I don't know if they would bother making them actually, like, you know, evaporate instead of just the normal kind of poof that they do in the water. I would love to see an underwater level. It could be with the robot. For a while, I've imagined a concept of, like, an Inkling having, like, a diving suit. Like, I just sort of imagine it like a high-tech, like, you know, like mecha suit, basically. Or not like mecha, like a, you know, like a power armor type of thing that would be able to transform into squid form or humanoid form with the Inkling while, like, covering them so that they wouldn't drown in water. But the robot does seem more likely at this point. I don't know, like, I just hope the gameplay wouldn't be too, like, slow. Water temple in Splatoon. I mean, if it means like a puzzle dungeon in Splatoon, I would want that, actually. But yeah, I would hope the gameplay with the robot is, like, still fun. That's the thing I'm a little doubtful on. Like, I don't really want, like, if underwater exploration is, like, 50% of the game, I hope it doesn't control, like, Crab Tank. Because that would not be great, I guess. Bum, 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 bum. Do do do. Queue times are so much longer now? This feels about normal to me, honestly. Also, it might literally just be because of Bonanza. Like, when Odyssey came out, it was harder to find games in Splatoon 2. Yeah. Yeah, back to Deep Cut. I really hope it literally isn't just like they want the treasure because treasure. Like, which I'm kind of am worried about, because that's kind of, the trailer seemed to imply like they heard a rumor about treasure on the Spiralite Islands, so they went there to get treasure. Like, I guess it's okay if that's where like it starts, but I really hope there's something deeper going on there. You find Bonanza kind of forgettable. You don't think it's a game with much staying power. I think it is. I don't know. I like, the only thing is, like, yes, I think some of the environments are not as memorable. Like, that, I said that earlier. Like, I think the worlds aren't as memorable, but I think the characters, I mean, Voidco is way more memorable than the Brutals. I think the controls and like speed running tech and challenge runs are insane and are definitely going to be around for a while. I think the game definitely has enough that will keep it in the spotlight, to be honest. More memorable than Odyssey? I mean... Oh, if you mean Voidco, yeah. Well, I don't know. In general, I don't know if I would say the game... I don't know. I think they have different strengths. I think Odyssey's levels and music are more memorable, but I think Donkey Kong's characters are more memorable. The like story moments at the end are way more interesting than anything that happened in Odyssey. That'll be like an iconic video game moment, I think, for a long time. Yeah, if we're just talking, yeah, Brutals, the Brutals sucked. The Brutals are definitely like, who cares? Voidco is actually really cool. Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's pretty likely that the story will start with the mechanic literally just being like the guy flying the helicopter, and they just ended up, you know, crashing with Deep Cut, and they got to figure stuff out together. But I hope they have a past. Like, I hope they actually have background lore that like matters, and I hope they care about what's happening. Because that was my whole thing with Neo 3, is like, I just feel like Neo Agent 3 does not give a shit about anything that happens in Return of the Mammalians. Like, they are just there. They aura farm when they beat a level, and like, yeah, they go into space to stop Grizz, but like, then what? You know? Like, even like Agent 3, like, yeah, they just got randomly like pulled off the street by Cuttlefish, but then you know, they seem to care because they keep working with Cuttlefish. They become the captain of the Splatoon, you know? They save the captain in Octo Expansion. They do things. They do things that imply some kind of motive or investment in the story. Agent 8, obviously, the entire story is extremely personal for them. They are trying to escape the underground and live on the surface. So after Octo Expansion, they live on the surface. And in Side Order, they have, like, you know, they're friends with Marina, and obviously, you know, have some investment in what happens to the sanitized Octarians, so they want to help. Neo 3 just is there, and then they leave. And it doesn't feel like they were in any way impacted by the story. Agent 4 has the same issue, I'll be honest. Agent 4 was not any better. And especially the fact that they just kind of have fucked off after that. And don't seem to care about the Splatoon anymore. Yeah. I don't know what's up with that. They did it right with 8. They did it kind of okay with Agent 3. I just hope with Mechanic it's okay. Agent 8 in Side Order is technically an adult, because even if you assume they're 14, which is the youngest possible age they could be, then it's 5 years later, so they'd be 19 in Side Order. But yeah, I would like to think the mechanic is an adult, because, I mean, they have a job as a mechanic and a helicopter pilot, so it'd be kind of weird if they weren't, but they probably won't say it explicitly, if I had to guess. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Agent 8 is still a teenager in Octo Expansion, because the devs said the rival Octolings are a little bit older than 8. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there'll be a teen, but I also wouldn't be entirely surprised. Apparently, Harmony started her music career when she was 13. Or was she 13 or 14? That was confirmed at some point, that Harmony was a teenager in Splatoon 1. So, okay, 14. So, I mean, to be fair, you know, starting a music career as a teenager is something that actually happens in real life sometimes, so that's not as absurd as being a helicopter pilot. But I just wouldn't be surprised if they did that, because they're weird sometimes. Endlessly ringing. That's a really weirdly specific one. Well, the games actually don't call it kid form. I'm pretty sure that's always just been a community thing. The English version refers to the humanoid forms as just Inkling and Octoling form. And then squid or octopus form as swim form. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, the community will probably still say that, but whatever. I don't think they're quite middle-aged yet. They'd be 27 in Raiders if it came out this year. That's not middle-aged, but yeah, they're getting up there. I think Pearl is still the oldest idol, right? No, I mean, yeah, if we get to, like, Splatoon 6, or whatever, yeah. I don't know, I mean... I imagine if the series actually does go on for that long and they maintain the, you know, real-time timeline thing, they probably just won't have much of a focus on the older characters anymore, but it would be funny if that was technically the case in canon. Midlife crisis, Murray. Ow. Ow. They should be on Wikipedia. I know the Squid Sisters one is like technically never been confirmed, but it was like the first Splatoon soundtrack booklet implies that Maritime Memory is a song sung by 17-year-olds, which is why it's basically assumed that the Squid Sisters were 17 in Splatoon 1. Then the other idols' ages were all given in the art books. Like, Marina was 18 and Pearl was 21 in Splatoon 2. I can never remember Deep Cuts. They're like pretty old. I think Shiver's like 25. Deep Cut is like older compared to the rest of them. At least, you know, for their debut game. Do. And then the agents, it's always been dubious. Everyone always just assumed 14. I still think in Splatoon 1 they were... And when Splatoon 1 and 3, they've been more vague. It was like Splatoon 2 where they were most explicit about the playable characters being 14. But I think it's always meant to be a bit more vague. They're just like teenagers. Okay, well, we just got destroyed. Pearl is likely 26? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's hard confirmed. I don't know why it says likely. Unless it's considering the art book to be, like, dubious amounts of canon. Which, like, yeah, in some cases, but I feel like character ages are a pretty sure thing. But yeah, she was 21 in Splatoon 2, so 26 in Splatoon 3. That makes sense. Well, Wikipedia has some weird rules. Like, they consider things in, like, the English localization to be canon, even if they, like, don't exist in Japan or contradict stuff. So, generally, it's a reliable source. But there are a few weird things about Wikipedia. Like, that is weird, because there was a Splatoon 3 developer that explicitly confirms that, like, the timeline thing is still the same. So I don't know why they say likely. And I'm pretty sure Side Order is explicitly, like, happening about the same time as Return of the Mammalians, so. Is there a better source? I mean, I don't think there's anything that outright says she is 26 in Splatoon 3, but the art book says she's 21 in Splatoon 2, and then, I'm pretty sure it was, like, the first big Splatoon 3 interview. I could find it if I looked for it for a bit, but they did mention the timeline thing. So, I mean, it takes a little bit of digging, but I'd say it's pretty much confirmed. Lucky Bomb, okay. Shiver's page doesn't list an age? Oh, in Wikipedia? That's weird. I'm pretty sure it's... I mean, the Splatoon 3 art book is Japan exclusive, which is the only reason I would assume, but, like, I like, there's lots of other Japan-only information that is still listed on the wiki, so I don't know. Do 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 do. Shiver's 24 and Fry's 22. Okay. I don't know. I thought 25, but like I said, I didn't really remember. Yeah, I mean, everything is at launch. It's like, it's a little confusing, but it's like, time progresses along with real time, but basically at, like, checkpoints for whenever the game releases. So, for the entirety of Splatoon 3, Shiver will be 24, and then however many years the next game comes out is how many years older she'll be. But it's obviously not like she's, like, you know, 26 now. It doesn't work like that. I'm gonna blame that a little bit on stick drift. I still need to get a new Pro Controller. Just make a cool Raiders one, please, so I can be justified in buying it. Raise pay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if they did it for one, it makes sense. Yeah, it's so expensive, dude. I don't. I don't know. I do really want it. It looks nice. I mean, I just need a new Pro Controller because mine has drift. I guess I don't know. I wouldn't want to get a third-party one this like early in the console's life because I feel like I don't know. I like having official controllers for some reason. I just feel like with third parties you always get weird like inconsistency with like rumble and like sometimes motion controls and just like the feel of the buttons and sticks and stuff. Also, sometimes they're even more expensive, so. Yeah, I really want one. Dude, now my right stick is drifting. Oh, come on. I'm not touching my stick right now. Oh god. Please, please. Jeez, is my aim... I don't know if I can blame that on drift. I think I just suck at the game. Hang on. I mean, I'm not so... Oh my god. Why is this stick... This is like the worst stick drift I was just talking about it, and then it, like, got worse. It's like the worst right stick drift I've like, ever had. What's going on? I feel like I'm playing Splatoon 2 right now. With how bad the camera is. Look at that, look at that. I'm not touching anything. Dude. Come on. Yeah, sorry, I was halfway through saying that. If they're gonna call it the Switch 2, I think it makes sense to just add a 2 to the names of the controllers. Like, I think it's a little underwhelming in both cases, but I'd rather it be consistent, I guess. They're not gonna call it the Super Pro Controller. Dude. How do you... I've blown into it. That's normally the only thing I know that fixes it for a minute. Oh, this is actually so bad. Where is my whole team, by the way? Oh my god. At least we broke check. I am not trying to throw. Yeah, the controller heard me talking shit and is like, oh, what's that? My stick's drift? How about I make it worse? You call that drifting? This is actually driving me insane. I'm trying to blow into it. Ugh, oh my god. My headphones are falling apart. My Pro Controller's drifting. Need a whole hardware overhaul at this point. I tried to squid roll! Okay, I'm alive, I'm alive. What the heck? Where did that come from? Oh, okay. Okay. I thought it was a Rainmaker shot. Okay, that was just bad gameplay. That was just stupid. That wasn't the stick fault. Oh, you have the gold Salmon Run banner. Okay. Remember when there was a route on the left? That was cool. Okay, we got a bubbler. We got this guy trying to flank us. He's dead. Okay. Okay. If we manage to come back this game... Never mind, it's probably not happening. Unless we pop Rainmaker in 2 seconds, it is not happening. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna play like one more game. I was gonna end stream already, and now my controller is defective. Dude. For real? Okay. See if that helps. I blew into it like 20 times. Oh my god, yeah, that's so much better. Wow, what? I don't know how it was so bad. It's immediately noticeable. That's crazy. You had a dream where they added Wii U as a Switch Online thing? Yeah, maybe in like 2062. I got a comment. I use this as the outro music in one of my videos, and I got a comment from someone saying like, "What is the name of the outro music? I've been looking for it for 3 months," and like I had it in the description, and it's from Splatoon 3, but I told them. Hello, Dusty. This is like the last game of the stream, but welcome. Well, if we can ever get into one, that is. Okay. Hopefully, this goes a little better than the last one. Kind of like our comp. Okay, I like our comp better than theirs. No stream tomorrow. We're just doing Friday this week. Do you think we're getting more fest? I don't know. I'm not expecting any. Like, I looked back at the tweet. It's kind of unclear to me if like they meant to imply that seasonal fest will continue like until further notice, or if they were just going to rerun one more time. I honestly don't know. They might just start repeating themes at this point. I think we're probably done having completely unique fests, but they might rerun the seasonal fest with just the same themes. Now, huh? Is my left? I was trying to go backwards with my left stick and it felt like that was drifting now. Oh my god. What do you think about the partner direct? I talked about at the start of the stream. There wasn't really anything there for me personally. I didn't really have big expectations for it. I think it's weird. The big thing I made a point of is I think it's weird how few release dates we have. Like, we don't have a release date for Elden Ring on Switch. We don't have one for Final Fantasy VII Remake on Switch. We don't have a release date for Age of Imprisonment. So I wish there was more of that. But I didn't really care about the presentation otherwise. Okay, the Plants vs. Zombies thing. Like, I guess that's cool. I don't really feel like that was something that needed to be in a direct. Like, I'm not trying to hate on Plants vs. Zombies. It's a good game, but it's a game I played 10 years ago on my iPod. And I didn't even know that it wasn't already HD. So when they did, like, the big reveal, like, I had heard that it was, like, leaked or rumored or something, that it was, like, a remaster. So I guess, like, I mean, I wouldn't really want them to change the art style, but they made a whole, like, trailer where they're like, whoa, new graphics, and I'm like, it looks the same? Like, I literally, it looked the exact same to me. Well, I think they're gonna continue starving because it's just the Xbox 360 version of the game. Like I was talking about this with people on Discord. Apparently the DS version of Plants vs. Zombies had the PvP mode. So like it's not really new. I don't really think it's like direct material. Oh, doesn't it have... I don't know. If it had new modes that weren't in the version released in 2013, I think the trailer did a bad job of advertising that. Because all I got was, oh, it's the PvP from the Xbox version. I mean, it's not Nintendo getting lazy. It's not made by Nintendo and it's a partner showcase. I just don't think... I don't think it needed to be there. To me, that's like a bullet point that you see on like a summary of like a Twitter article. Like, it's not a direct trailer. Okay, let's lock in. Hello, team. Hey, killed that guy. I hear a booyah bomb. Okay, he messed up throwing it. Nice. That's a splashdown behind me. That's very bad. Okay, hold on. What are you doing? Like, you're safer to jump to than the other guy, but why are you here? Oh, that's why. Cool. Okay, well, I mean, that was my bad. I should not have jumped in. Oh, but they're also... Okay, it's over. That's fine. That's, you know, that's okay. Yeah, I'm with you, RC. I went on, like, a whole rant about that earlier in the stream. Friend who woke up early for the direct hoping for Silksong news. Story as old as time. I mean, I was a little hopeful for Silksong too. I wasn't like getting my hopes up too high, but like it felt plausible this time. It's supposed to come out in the next 5 months. So they've got to talk about it sometime. But yeah, maybe Gamescom. But yeah, that will be it for this stream. Thank you all for hanging out. Whoa. That art is intense. Okay. Yeah. I've done a lot of yapping. Good stream. Thank you all for being here and chatting. We had some good conversations. No stream tomorrow. This was the one for the week. I'm working on that boss ranking video. I don't know if I have many other things to say. I do want to get back to like lore type content eventually. And we'll get into the Raiders hype cycle once we get another trailer. So that'll be cool. I'll see you guys soon. But for now, that's been it. Thanks for watching. This has been Cosmic. Farewell.